tapping into the true potential of the human spirit. This is Humanity Empowered. This is The Implicit Show. Hello, and welcome to The Implicit Show. My name is Bren Dubé. I'm glad you guys tuned in today. And I've got my dear friend here, Anthony Cheam. Anthony Cheam is awesome. Well, we're getting all sorts of technology going in here, but we're gonna have some courage and break through all this. Anyways, I got my friend Anthony Cheam here. If you guys don't know Anthony, then you probably don't know us, because Anthony's been involved with us with all the podcasts we're doing. He's also involved with the Friday masterminds that we're doing. And ever since me and my brother met Anthony, it's been super inspiring to us in terms of getting out there and pushing ourselves. I remember, for example, before I met Anthony, I was always worried about getting started. I was like, well, I don't know if I should start yet. I don't know if I'm ready. And Anthony, one of the biggest pieces of advice I can remember from him was like, no, you don't have to be ready. You just need to go. You just need to do it now. And so I'm really excited to have him on the show to share with you guys. And today's topic is really courage. How to find courage through the tough times, because this time of year, it's not easy for a lot of people. The holidays were just last month, and now this month, a lot of people are, starting to get back on track. They're starting to decide and figure out really what it is they want to do with their life for the next year. So it's a big time for a lot of people. So I feel like half of us, we're doing really well. We're on top of our game. We're making it happen. It's awesome. And the other half of us, we're not so on top of our game. We're probably, just struggling to figure it out, even what it is we want to do for the next year. So Anthony's gonna talk about that. We're gonna chat. We're gonna have a little conversation. If you guys are in the comment section, let me know where you're from. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and let's get right into it. So Anthony, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Strength grows through struggle, man. I'm going through my own struggles too. And You know what? Anytime I'm going through a struggle in my life, I know there's an opportunity within that struggle. That I always ask myself the question that anytime there's frustration or struggle, or times when I feel like I'm not progressing the way I want to go, I know there's a new level waiting for me to unleash or to discover within that struggle. So within every struggle, there's always a benefit. Napoleon Hill, with every seed of disaster or failure, has within it the seed of equal benefit. So you got to have that mindset, even through the toughest times. You got to stay tough. You got to stay focused. You got to persist. As I heard it once, if you persist, God will assist. But if you quit, trust me, you're guaranteed you're not going to get what you really, really want and desire in life. And that doesn't mean necessarily, having courage is going to guarantee you that, will get you what you want. But at least with courage, you're going to sculpt a lot more than, or attain more than just a goal in mind. You're going to sculpt your character, you're going to sculpt your soul, and you're going to become a legend in your arena, a legend in your own life, a legend in your friends and family's life, and ultimately you're going to become an inspiration to others. So glad to be on the show again with you, Brett. And you talk about me being an inspiration to you. I can tell you guys, I've been following you guys over the past 3, 4, 5, 6 months. You guys have been doing some amazing things online. I want to be your student and learn from you, because I want to get my voice out there and inspire more people through what you guys are doing. And I think that's the next level of my business. And that's exactly it. We're partnering in helping the world heal and creating happiness and health and inspiration throughout the world, through music, through sharing of our gifts and our talents, and just outpouring of love to the world. So thank you for having me on the show again there, Brent.
Hey man, my pleasure. Of course, my pleasure. And I think it's also the pleasure of our listeners, because they're really going to get a lot out of this episode, I'm sure. Because I can remember I was listening back to some of the old podcasts we do, and it's amazing, just the information that you have. Just you keep on going and going. Like I feel like you said the one time it just channels through you. It just comes out. You don't even think about it. It's just there. So tell us, what was on your mind when I asked you? I said topic for the day. What do you think? What was on your mind? And you said courage. So
I think at the end of the day, Brendan, I'm going through my own struggles, personal struggles, professional struggles. But as I said, I don't see it as struggles necessarily stopping at struggles. I need to apply courage against that struggle and have faith that if I push long enough and I apply my intelligence enough and I redirect my focus, I have enough sensory acuity to know what's working, if it's not working, to keep pushing through no matter how bad the environment is or how bad I'm feeling. If I keep pushing through, I know there's light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm going through my own personal struggles. And we talk about having the key to pushing through those struggles, having a mastermind, having mentors, having people that are cheering you on. And I certainly have those in my life. I certainly I wouldn't be where I am by myself. And I'm reading a book right now, The Tools of the Titans by Tim Ferriss, and he talked, one of the forwards was at the beginning was Arnold Schwarzenegger, and one of the things he said was, self-made millionaires, and he talks about being self-made. No one's self-made. The reality is no one's got there on their own. So we all need help. So I think what came to me about courage is that courage is the most important of all human qualities because it guarantees all the other qualities, as Winston Churchill said. And when you apply courage, you can apply courageous faith, courageous love, courageous compassion, courageous words of affection. When everyone else is doing something else and part of your heart and soul is telling you to go one way, it takes courage to do the right thing in the face of it when everyone else is going west and you want to go east. And it's hard to do that. It's hard to do that. And when there's no evidence necessarily that you're going to achieve your goal or achieve that whatever Super Bowl or Stanley Cup trophy you're after, there's no guarantee. But as I said before the intro, courage is not going to guarantee, and applying courage and intelligence to a certain goal that you're after, it's not going to guarantee you a goal, but it will sculpt a part of who you are. It will expand your soul, and you will live a legendary life. And that's what I feel like I'm living right now. I'm continuously pushing myself, continuously setting the bar higher and higher. And you know what? I remember Wayne Dyer saying, when you have big dharma, you're going to have big problems. And in order to get to those problems, you're going to have big courage. But when you have the bigger the problem, the bigger courage that is necessary. So the bigger the weight you got to lift, you're going to have to sculpt bigger muscles. Same thing with life. The bigger the problem, you're going to have to sculpt the courage muscles, and you're going to have to push it. Most people run. It being, almost a month into New Year's, I read a statistic that was 60 to 70% of people quit their New Year's resolutions within 21 days. 60 to 70%. Because it gets too tough. Oh, it hurts. Oh, it's too hard. I'm a quitter. I've never been able to do this. And I always tell people, listen, don't wait till New Year's to make a change in your life. I always say to people, rather than look at it as New Year's resolution, look at it as now here resolution. Now is here resolution. Make the change now. Don't wait for a date. Don't wait for, a zero at the end of your age. Don't wait for things to get bad. Whatever it is you want in life, stick to it. In order to develop that stickability in life, you're going to have to go through the tough times, and they're going to be tough times. Les Brown had a great quote, guys. He said this: anything that will be hard may not be worth it, but anything that's worth it will definitely be hard. So anything that's worth it in your life, whether it be a fitness goal, a health goal, a relationship goal, a business goal, a financial goal, a spiritual goal, a contribution goal, it's going to be very, very, very tough. I can guarantee you. And if it's too tough, then don't set the goal. I'm not saying don't set goals, but if you have this mindset, oh, I want it to be easy, or I'll start when I'll get all my ducks in a row. Trust me, there is no plan for that. It's going to be tough. Brent, I was talking to someone the other day. We were talking about the 4 levels of mastery. And I love this. And so the first level is the enthusiastic beginner. Have you ever started a journey and you're like, oh man, I'm so gung-ho. I'm going to lose 40 pounds. I'm going to lose 40 pounds in 3 months. I'm going to get excited and go on this crazy diet. I'm going to work out. And then the enthusiastic beginner goes. And then the week goes by and all of a sudden you're sore and you're achy. And it's like, oh my God, which basically transfers you into the second level, which is like the disillusioned learner, where the person goes, oh my God, this is actually harder than I thought. I haven't lost a pound. I've been working out for a week and I'm sore, I'm tired, I'm frustrated. Oh my gosh, this is a lot harder. And then if they push long enough after that, they get through that second stage, they go to the third stage, which most people quit at, which is the reluctant contributor, which is the person that goes, I don't think I'm making any gains towards my goal. I'm not making any contribution. I'm not doing anything. So I'm just going to quit. But people usually quit there. But if they don't push through enough and they make the necessary changes to get them closer to their goal, guess what? They will never reach the 4th stage, which is peak performer, which is getting what you really want in life. So at the end of the day, guys, it takes courage, massive courage, each of those stages to transcend each of those stages. You can't just go, I'm going to be enthusiastic and everything's going to be all right. Trust me. If you go into it with this mindset, everything's going to be all right, everything's going to be okay, everything's going to be easy, it's not going to be, because as soon as the tough times come, you're going to run away. It's not supposed to be hard. Les Brown says this, I love this: when it's hard, you then do it hard. If it's hard, then do it hard. So if you go in with that mindset that it's almost better to be forewarned To be forewarned is to be forearmed, right? So if you're forewarned that, tough times are going to come and you expect that and you anticipate that, when it does come, you're not going to be rattled by it. So when tough times come to my way, I'm like, this is supposed to happen. How can I benefit from this? How can I grow? How can I use this as an opportunity for me to grow even more? So I just want to tell you, courage, it really begins the foundation of applying courage towards that which you really truly desire and what you really value in your life. It takes courage to love. It takes courage to change. It takes courage to face your fears. It takes courage in every area of your life. If you wish to be, live, and do better in your life, I promise you, you're going to have to develop your courage. And how do you develop your courage? You face your fears, you tell yourself the truth, and you go after it regardless. Even if your environment or everything inside you tells you not to, you go after it. Now, mind you, let me add the second part of it. You don't want to just apply courage blindly, right? You don't just want to apply, you want to apply courage with a little bit of intellect, evaluation. That's where mentors come in to guide you to apply the right strategies. It's like someone that's, running east looking for a sunset. Well, you have a lot of courage and a lot of persistence. You're just not going to hit the sunset, right? So you got to have a mentor, a right strategy to apply your courage so you get there faster. So that's sort of how I sort of apply my daily actions and start my day with tons of courage. Anytime I've part of the reason why I'm struggling right now in my own personal life is because I'm not being challenged enough. I've been sort of running on a treadmill, and I need to push myself to the next level. And so it's scary. So how do I get over the fear? I got to apply my courage. I got to take my life to the next level. I got to start learning new skills in order for me to get to where I want to go. And it's scary. It is scary, but you know what? I love it. You got to make friends with your fear, not your foe. Make friends with your fear and say, you know what? Look in the face of fear, apply your courage, and get to where you want to go. And again, I don't mean blind faith or blind courage, stupid faith, where you just go and not with no intellect, no evaluation, no mentorship. What I'm saying is, whatever it is you really want in life, it's going to be hard and it's going to take massive courage.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I find a lot of people, I mean, for me personally, when it's time to apply courage, sometimes, like you said, you have to apply the intelligent courage. You can't just go out there and run around and be all brave and courageous and go, run into the fire. You need to go have a strategy, which I think a lot of people this time of year, maybe they didn't think about. I mean, I know for me personally, last year around this time, I set a New Year's resolution to wake up at the same time every day and follow a morning ritual. Well, I don't know what happened, but the whole year I struggled. The whole year I couldn't do it. I tried. I'd wake up and I'd get into it for like 5-10 minutes and then I'd fall asleep. Or the next day, I'd get up, I'd hear my alarm, I'd turn it off, I'd just go back to sleep. Or I'd turn it off and I'd be in it. I'd be doing my yoga. I'm getting in it. I'm making it happen, and then I'd fall asleep. And a lot of it, I think, a lot of times I was kind of fearful of waking up early. Is this going to be uncomfortable? Is this even going to work? Is this even going to be worth it? And so I don't find I was in that state of courage a lot of the time. So what would you kind of say to somebody who is fearful and they feel like they're stuck in that fearful state? They feel like they don't even know where to start in terms of courage. What would you say to that person?
My strategy for that when I'm coaching people is to take small steps. Get yourself some small victories, because with courage comes confidence, right? So you get those small victories, start building up. It's like, as an example, if you're overweight, you're 100 pounds, 200 pounds, or 50 pounds overweight, and you have never walked more than a kilometer in a row, don't focus on walking the kilometer. Maybe go outside and get a victory and say, I'm going to walk from this post to that post. And it may not seem like a big victory for somebody else, but it's a beginning. It gets you on the path. So yes, think big. Think, I want to be the healthiest, fittest, strongest person possible. I want to be a certain percentage body weight. I want to lose 100 pounds. Great. But take the small steps, get those victories. And as you stack those victories, you'll get this emotional charge of confidence and this feeling that, hey, I'm moving forward. I'm on the path. And you know what? There's a saying in physics that says, things that are in motion stay in motion. Things that are at rest stay at rest. If you sit there and commiserate about why it's not working, you're going to stay in that mode of misery and fear and anxiety. But if you get out there, and you see, I heard a quote that says, "Action cures fear." Just get outside. All right, I'm going to take a small goal. I'm going to walk 100 yards, and then I'm going to go reward myself. And then the next day I'm going to rock 150 yards, then 200 yards, then 300. And you build up. There's so many people I know that have done this that were never runners, now running half marathons and doing triathlons, have lost 100 pounds, 200 pounds. It's crazy. And they started off with a small commitment, a small goal leading up to their big goal. So don't try, it's like this, don't try and climb Mount Everest just climbing Mount Everest. You start with the small mountains, you train yourself, get a few victories, gain some confidence, gain some esteem for yourself. And then as you progress, the mountain won't seem as big because you have climbed up a little higher. You know what I'm saying? The peak will become a little closer because you've got a little higher. So get those small victories, whatever goal you're after. It could be a financial goal. Rather than focus on, oh, I want to have $1 million in the bank account when I'm 30 or 40, say, all right, what can I do every single day? Spending $10 a day, saving $10 a day, and investing that $10 each and every single day. And this is a great example. They said if you invest at age 21 to age 65, between $5 and $10. I mean, what's $5 and $10? That's a Starbucks coffee, a couple Starbucks, a lunch every day. $5 to $10 every day for the rest of your life, from 21 to 65. You will easily be a multi-millionaire if you invest it properly. How hard is $5 to $10? But it takes discipline, it takes focus, it takes courage to do that. Courage to resist the temptation to spend that money on lunch or going out and partying or whatever it may be. So $5 to $10, that anyone can do that. Anybody can do that. Anyone can walk 100 yards. Anyone can do 5 sit-ups every day. Anyone can go from smoking 24 smokes to 23 smokes. That's a victory. Why not applaud yourself for that? Why focus on quitting 2 packs a day and focus on, I'm going to go from 2 packs a day to 1 pack a day or whatever it might be. Get those small victories. And as you begin the process, you'll gain momentum. You feel good about yourself. You'll associate and link pleasure to the process of healing and achieving and growing. What are you doing? Sorry, guys, give me a sec. So that's the whole idea, is taking small steps, committing yourself to small steps. And I think that will help each and every single person here that are listening, that are watching. Start small. Think big, start small.
I like that a lot. Think big and start small. And another thing that I think you mentioned there once, but I'd love to hear you mention it a little bit more, is rewarding yourself. You know, when you make that small victory, I find a lot of people, they reward themselves. Like for me or they should reward themselves more. For me personally, it's like I said, last year I was trying to wake up early every day, and this year I've been doing a lot better because I've been rewarding myself a lot more, right? If I wake up at a certain time, if I get through my morning ritual, if I make everything happen, and I produce some results, then I allow myself to take a little nap, or I allow myself to go and make a delicious smoothie or something, right? What would you kind of say to people? How could they get started on making those rewards for themselves so that they, you know, condition themselves more? Because I find so many people, they're trying to start a new habit, they're trying to get into a new goal, they're trying to face a fear, but when they make the smallest little failure or the smallest little mistake, they beat themselves up. And I do this for myself all the time.
Too,
so it's something that I could improve on.
Yeah. Okay. So, you know, Bren, it's interesting because there was a funny story. I remember hearing an audio by Tony Robbins, and he was saying to this one girl, he said, okay, what I want you to do is I want you to wake up. She loved chocolate and she wanted to get to the gym. And so he used a strategy of rewarding herself. He said, all right, I want you to get up. And when you get up, reward yourself by eating the chocolate. Just use that as a reward. And then if you get your gym clothes on, eat another piece of chocolate. And then if you get in the car and you're about to go to the gym, eat another piece of chocolate. When you get to the gym, because you got there, eat another piece of chocolate. When you do your first sit up or you're on the treadmill, eat another chocolate. And it's funny, the person actually did this, and she thought it was weird, but she followed the advice. But once she got there and started doing the exercise, did she eat the chocolate? No, she started exercising. She started to associate pleasure to that experience. So, I mean, that's a radical way to reward yourself. But in psychology, it's interesting. You know, there's a great book called Don't Shoot the Dog, and it's by Karen Pryor. She talks about conditioning and training dolphins and training animals, which are no different, honestly, than human beings, really. And what she found was when she would reward the dolphin would actually listen. But when she would punish the dolphin would run away. So anytime 99%, 98%, 99% of human beings won't respond to negative reinforcement very well. So there's a fixed reward system. There's a jackpot reward system. There's a variable reward system that I use on myself too. So a fixed reward system is, if I work out 7 days in a row, I will reward myself with X, a new outfit. I'm going to go out for dinner. I'm going to go treat myself to a manicure and pedicure, or whatever it might be, a facial. That's a fixed reward. So you're saying, if I do this for 7 days in a row, if I get up 7 days in a row, whatever it is, I'm going to reward myself after the 7 days. Now, a variable one would be, you know what? I'm just going to reward myself because I've been on this journey for 6 months. You might decide today, I'm going to reward myself with a variable rather than have it fixed. I'm going to reward myself just because I love myself, right? That could be any type of reward, going out to the spa, or going out with some friends, or whatever it might be, going for a nice dinner, or I don't care what the reward is, as long as you associate pleasure to it. Now, a jackpot reward would be something like, let's say, January 1st, 2017, you make a bunch of variable and fixed rewards, but by the end of 2017, your jackpot reward, I'm going on vacation. I'm going to go fly to Mexico because I'm going to show everyone my new body, because I'm going to be 50 pounds less. I'm going to have 6-pack abs, or whatever it might be, or I'm going to have $100,000 in the bank account, or whatever your goal might be. Use those sort of strategies in your life, that if you have a goal, an ultimate goal, maybe have a jackpot reward at the end of your ultimate goal. And then every 30 days, have a fixed reward. Like, at the end of this 30 days, if I hit this goal, I'm going to X. I'm going to go take my wife or my husband to Niagara Falls. I'm going to go to a nice dinner and stay at a hotel. I don't know what it might be for you. Or I'm going to buy my wife a new outfit, or whatever it might be. So use those rewards, because what that does is, just like animals, when you reward an animal immediately with something good that they want, they'll immediately respond. Human beings are no different. So we don't just want to go after the goal, but we want to feel like we're progressing, we're becoming more, and that there's something that we're looking forward to more than just the goal, right? So we get too outcome oriented. We got to enjoy the process and know that, you know what, there's tons of pleasure associated with the journey, the outcome, and ultimately our life.
I really like that. I never thought of rewards in those different senses, but I'm definitely going to use that for myself, because that's something that I think I could definitely improve in, is just giving myself rewards and encouraging myself more, rather than using the negative, damn it, Brad, come on, you could do it, like, get off your ass, come on, man, because that doesn't work all that well. Anyways,
and honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, rewarding yourself in that way. In fact, you can do this with a partner. Like, as an example, like, you can do it together. Let's say as a buddy system. I've done this with a husband and wife, where I said, okay, what's the total amount of weight you want to lose between the two of you? Let's say it's 30 pounds between the two of you. I don't care. The husband might lose 20, the wife might lose 10. Regardless of what happens, if they lose 30, they go out on a weekend to a cottage, or they take the weekend hotel and a little small mini vacation. And that way it becomes like a team effort. Right? So you can do it with a buddy. You can do this with a friend. You can do this with a mentor. You can do it with virtually anybody. And one of the best ways to, I wouldn't say guarantee, but to strengthen your resolve, is to tell someone about your goal, someone that you respect, and say, listen, I fully intend to make this much money by the end of 2017, or I fully intend to stop smoking. I'm giving you this business card with my name on it that says I am no longer a smoker, January 24th, 2017. I'm giving this to you. I'm never going to smoke again. And that provides the extra leverage, the accountability. And when you have that accountability, you don't want to let people down. It's one thing to let yourself down, because you're rationalized about letting yourself down, but it's another thing to let someone that you respect down. So it's good to have that accountability.
I mean, I find there's so many people who care a lot about that. Like, they really care about what other people are going to think, or especially, like you said, if it's someone you really respect, who you don't want to let them down. Maybe it's a dear friend, maybe it's a coach, a mentor, a coworker, whatever. And so I find that's huge. Even I think a great strategy for a lot of people that would be super easy is to just post a Facebook status, right? Are you on Facebook right now? Are you on Instagram or Twitter or any of that stuff? And you're trying to hold yourself accountable, be like, okay, guys, from now on, I'm going to do this and this and this. And I need you guys to hold me accountable. I mean, I tried this once, and I mean, I put up a Facebook status saying something like, I will wake up at 6 a.m. every single day. I'm going to kick some ass. It's going to be awesome. I need you guys to hold me accountable. And it worked for a couple of weeks. But then after a while, I kind of I don't think I really conditioned myself. I was just trying it rather than committing to it. And so it never stuck. But I'm on a strategy now where I have like, Bears, my friend Bears, he calls me every morning to hold me accountable to getting out of bed. He's like, hey, are you up? Canada, eh?
That's amazing.
He's calling from the States. And I'm like, yeah, I'm up. I'm here. I'm doing it. So that's been a great form of accountability for me, just to get myself out of bed, man. Because that's something, it's one of my challenges. We all have our own challenges. For other people, it's eating a healthy diet. For some people, it's exercising consistently. But those are things that I find super easy. But it's the getting out of bed in the morning that I don't find so easy. So you got to find what it is for you that takes the most effort, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I think, for people that want to have a goal to get up early, I mean, I tell people, and I'm sure your audience already knows this, but I get up between 3 a.m. and 3:30 every day, Monday to Friday. And people are like, oh my God, what time you go to sleep and how the heck do you do that? I didn't start by getting up at 3 a.m. I used to think I was one time in life, but 8 a.m. was early. And what I did was I started, as I said to you earlier, small commitments. I just said, all right, 8 a.m. I can get up at 7:45. I can get up 15 minutes early. What's 15 minutes? And then 7:30, then 7:15. So eventually I got to 6 a.m. and then eventually got conditioned to enjoy it because I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting so much done. So I started to link pleasure to that experience and pain to the other experience of getting up late and not being productive in the morning. And then I started reading books on all these amazing, successful, and happy people who get up really early at like 5. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to start getting up at 5. And then 5 was good. And for a while, I'm like, I probably go a little earlier. So, I then went 4:30 and 4. And then eventually I just said, I like getting up. And ever since I had kids, that kind of changed everything. But I said, I go to bed when my kids go to bed and I get up early. I meditate, I pray, and I do my workout. I have like 2 hours with myself to nurture myself. And I didn't start at 3 a.m. I started with 15 minutes prior, half an hour. And then I let up and I kept stacking those experiences. And as I gained momentum in those areas, it just started to become natural and easier as I took on the journey. I mean, what's the hardest part about pushing a car in neutral? The initial push. But once you get the car pushed, it's a joke. But the initial push is always the hardest part about starting any journey. I often say to people, listen, if you've never worked out before, I can tell you, and this is a life principle for all you listeners and watchers out there, it will get harder before it gets easier. People are like, my God, what do you mean? Well, when you first start a workout, people think, I don't want to be sore. You're going to be sore. You're going to be tired. You're going to be achy. You might actually gain some weight. You're going to come home tired. You're going to go to work frustrated. And, oh my God, this is so hard. But you get through the first 20, 30 days, all of a sudden the soreness goes away. You feel better. Your posture gets better. You're eating better. You have more energy. You're choosing consciously about conscious, food choices. And all of a sudden you start to feel better about your life. And it just starts to kind of cascade and build upon itself like a snowball going down a mountain. It's just to build momentum and speed and strength. Same thing as with your life. Get started with the small steps, walk 10 yards, eat one fruit a day or one salad a day even. I don't care what it is. I don't believe in these extreme diets. I don't believe in them. They do not work. They work temporarily. But I can tell you, anyone that goes extreme in any aspect of their life from zero, and now, mind you, there are certain cases where you need to go to an extreme. Like as an example, you might have seen that show, My 600-Pound Life. Those people need to have, because they're in an extreme case where they need to lose weight. Otherwise, it means death. Right? So those are some cases where you need to go extreme. But I'm a big believer in living the middle path. Going hard in your life, yes, but living the middle path, not taking these massive steps forward, small steps forward. You play music, right, Bren? So a guitar, right? If you tighten the strings too much, the strings will break, right? People tighten their strings too much, their life strings too much, and they break. They have a nervous breakdown. They go extremes, and all of a sudden they hit exhaustion. But if the strings of the guitar are too loose, it's not going to make any noise. So there's got to be that perfect tuning in your life. Now, will your strings get out of tune from time to time? Yes, and that's where you're going to have to sort of navigate your way back on course. And that's when mentors come into play. That's when a sensory acuity and awareness come into play. We're like, am I getting closer or am I going farther? Right? So it's good to have those as sort of weapons in our artillery of success and fulfillment and happiness.
That's so huge. I feel like that's my personality to the T, just like going to the extreme. Hey, well, I hear about, I should be working out every day. Okay, let's do it. Like 2 hours a day. Let's go make it happen. Right. But it's tough. It doesn't stick, unless, like you said, unless you're in a situation where you're 600 pounds and the stakes are high. The stakes are so high, it's like you either commit and you go all in, or you die. Like when the stakes are that high, you have no choice. But we're talking about, when you're trying to develop a new habit, maybe it's waking up a little bit earlier, eating some healthier foods, exercising more consistently, starting small, rewarding yourself consistently, having some sort of system that holds you accountable. All these things come together to create like a solid, rock solid habit. So actually, we got a comment here from Andrea, who says she was an extreme case, but extreme measures were needed, but that doesn't work in most areas of life. See, Andrea, for example, she was somebody who was extremely overweight, and she was at a point where she needed to take extreme measures to make that happen, to lose the weight. And she's come such a long way since. But even then it wasn't an overnight change, was it, Andrea? Right? You had to every single day consistently look at the food you're eating and change the food you're eating. You have to move your body differently, exercise differently. There's so much that goes into it. And I find so many of us, we just want to dive in and we want the change now. We just want it right now. We want, I want to wake up early every day. I want to make lots of money. I want to be in a happy family. I want everything right now. I want to travel the world now. And it's not realistic. Really, life is a process we have every single day, right? You live this moment now, and you can't have it all right now. That wouldn't be fair. What about the future? You got things to look forward to, right?
Yeah.
So that's great, Anthony. I think we're gonna wrap it up. We got about half hour here. Right off the bat, I gotta say thank you so much for hopping onto the call. Me and you, we just planned this earlier today. I was super excited to get you on here, and you have so much amazing knowledge to share. So anytime you want to get on the show, man, you send me a message and we'll make it happen. So Anthony, before we go, what kind of last words would you have to say in terms of courage during the tough times?
Be the turtle and not the rabbit. Steady wins the race. I think the turtle is not just a metaphor for life, but the turtle is happy and content with moving slow, moving that half step slower than the rabbit. But he or she is consistently moving forward, towards the finish line, but never too focused on the finish line, because they're enjoying the process as well, because they're just taking step by step, taking step by step. And I tend to be the rabbit sometimes. So I got to start slowing down myself. Even I got to remind myself of that. Steady wins the race. And for you listeners out there watching right now, whatever journey you're on, please take the note, take small steps. Even if it's a workout goal, whatever it might be, I'm using this as a metaphor because I've been in the industry for so long. If you can only be on the treadmill for 5 minutes, next time go for 5 minutes and 5 seconds. That's a victory, because within a year, you add 5 seconds over 365 days. Oh my God, you get up to 30, 40, 50 minutes. It's like a penny doubled for 30 days. A penny doubled for 30 days is over, $1 million, over $1 million. So you keep on doubling those, stacking those experiences each and every single day. You'll gain momentum. You'll gain the courage. You'll gain the confidence. And before you know it, you'll look back and go, oh my God, I've made it pretty far. A journey begins with 1,000 miles begins with that first step.
You heard it, guys. You heard it here first. So that's Anthony Cheam, everybody. If you guys want to go learn a little bit more about what he's doing, you can go to our past episodes on iTunes, YouTube, Facebook, and all that stuff. We've had him featured on many different episodes, and Anthony's actually starting to pick up more of his online brand. He's starting to get out there more. He's starting to you're writing a new book right now, or you're in the process of it?
I actually just, because it's New Year's resolution time, I just finished my third book with Body 2.0, which is going to be an online course for people out there wanting to transform their body and their life in 30 days. And it's basically a combination of everything I teach and learn and I've applied, and through failure and studying and applying my own life for the past 20 years and being in the fitness and health industry as well. And all the best strategies to get yourself moving over a 30-day course and get yourself gaining some of the massive momentum I was talking about. And, you talk about getting out of your comfort zone. Online presence is a new thing for me too. Getting out there and doing these podcasts, and I'm learning from, again, I'm a student of yours there, Bren. You know a lot more than I do, so we can share that knowledge. And again, I'm applauding for what you and Cameron and your whole team is doing. It's absolutely fantastic and a pleasure to be on the show.
Thank you so much, Anthony. My pleasure. All right, give your peace sign, Anthony.
Live it up.
Let's get the peace sign.
Purpose and passion. All right.
Peace.